Let's listen to Alonzo T. Jones. The true third angel's message. The third angel's message, what is it? Last week we showed that more than 9 years ago, from what was then in sight, we called attention to the prospect that there would be a revolution backward in the principle of government in this nation, that the doctrine of the Declaration of Independence and the Constitution would be subverted, and that Europeans and Roman principles of government would supplant the American. All this has now come to pass. The European and Roman principles of government have now been adopted as the principles of government of the United States, in all territorial and island possessions except Hawaii. 9 years ago we said that, if such things should come, the result would be the perfect likeness of the course of Rome which developed the beast, and which, therefore, repeated here, would be only the image of the beast. And now, since that which we then contemplated has come to pass, and is being steadily practiced, nothing else than the image of the beast can be rightly expected as the result of the course upon which this nation has entered, and is now steadily pursuing. This revolution backward, the apostasy from the fundamental principles of this nation, and the actions of the nation in consequence, are, and will be, but elements in the making of the image of the beast. The third angel's message is a warning against the making of the image of the beast, as certainly as it must be a warning against the worship of the image of the beast when that image shall have been made. Accordingly, it is now the work of all those to whom the third angel's message has been committed to note the working of these elements that go to make the image of the beast, to avoid any entanglement or alliances with them, and carefully and consistently to point out to others the inevitable result of all these things. This must be done, because the third angel's message must be given, and it is just as much our duty to do all that we can to save the people of this nation from the fearful evil that incurs the wrath of God, as it is to do what we can to save the people of the other nations from the day of ruin. The crisis in the course of this nation comes in the completion of the making of the image of the beast, and giving life to that image, and, by means of it, enforcing upon all the worship of the beast and his image. The nation is now in the power of the tide that will inevitably carry her to this goal marked in the prophecy. We do not say that it will reach the crisis in a year, nor in any specific time. We only say that the nation has entered upon the course, and is in the power of the tide, that will inevitably bring her to that crisis, and consequently to ruin. And all that anyone needs to do, so fully to know this that he shall be able to recognize any feature of the image of the beast that may appear, is simply to study the course of Rome, which culminated in the formation of the beast and the consequent ruin of that nation. Calling attention to these things from time to time, as events have occurred that demand such notice, is what we have been doing in these columns of the review for the last 2 years, and this is what we must continue to do as certainly as we continue to give the third angel's message in its warning concerning the image of the beast. Some have thought, in the things which we have had occasion to say concerning the apostasy of this republic, that we have been attacking the present administration, but this is a mistake. We have had nothing at all to do with the present administration as such, nor has any mention of it been made because it is the present administration. All that we have done is to call attention to the facts, and to that nature and the bearing of those facts, with respect to the making of the image of the beast. This we shall be obliged to continue to do, because events will continue to occur, bearing the same meaning, and to which it will be necessary to call attention, as elements which mark the fulfillment of the prophecy. And this will be so, whatever administration may be in power. If the present administration were to cease today, and another one were to take its place, we should be obliged to call attention to facts that would just as certainly be elements in the making of the image of the beast as any that so far have occurred. This being the year of a presidential campaign, there are just now multitudes of people who hope, and are deliberately working, to bring about a change of administration. We do not pretend to any knowledge as to whether there will be, nor as to whether there should be, a change of administration. But we know that, even though a change of administration may be accomplished, there will be no check in the progress of the elements that go to the making of the image of the beast. If there should be a change in administration, much would be expected in the way of checking the present tide of imperialism. And, in such event, something might be done to check the present, particular phase of it. But where this particular phase might be checked, others would be established, and would progress just as swiftly toward that goal as the present course has been, or will be, progressing. This thing consists not in administrations. It in no wise depends upon administrations, nor change of administrations. Neither change nor no change of administration can affect it, except, perhaps, to check some, while hastening other, features of the general apostasy of the Republic. The evil is in the whole nation. The nation has lost the principle and the spirit of a republic. It has lost the faculty of self-government. And the force or effect of a change of administration, whether this year or later, can be fitly expressed in the words of Cicero, at the death of Caesar, which death, indeed, was accomplished to effect a change of administration, and so to have the Roman Republic from imperialism, when he exclaimed, "We have killed the king, but the kingdom is with us still. We have taken away the tyrant. The tyranny survives." The Roman Republic did not reach the confirmed imperial despotism of a one-man power in a straight, uninterrupted course. There were many changes of administration. There were many political reforms accomplished in the many changes of administration. But not one of these changes nor one of these reforms checked the general tide. Not one of these reforms was in any sense a true reform. It was merely political reform, selfishness and imperialism in one phase being supplanted by selfishness and imperialism in another phase. From the start that has been made by this republic in the downward course of the Roman Republic, it now is perfectly easy to know what will come in this republic, simply by reading carefully what did come in the Roman Republic. For it was the union of the apostate church with that republic which had degenerated into an imperial despotism that made the beast. And the beast is presented in the prophecy as the standard of comparison by which alone we shall be able to know what is the image of the beast. And now, since in our study of that phase of the third angel's message which relates specifically to the beast and his image, we are brought into the very whirl of the events daily occurrent, all of which tend to the making of the image of the beast, we shall not follow this phase of the subject further in these studies. This phase of the third angel's message will be now before us constantly in the course of current events, and these events will be noted in specific items as they occur. And for our set studies on the third angel's message, we shall next take up that phase of it in which the place and work of all the nations are comprehended. These studies will begin week after next.